Hi guys, Maglin Vin back, and with the next video in our indoor growing series that I'm planning out, we have the triple tower hydroponic system. This is based off of the strawberry towers that you can find on YouTube in a whole bunch of different places. I finally decided that this might actually be a cool thing to attempt due to a video I watched of a guy in New York who produces all the fresh vegetables he needs for his restaurant on the roof of his building. So if he can feed dozens of families a day, then I should be able to feed my one family a day, right? So, and then of course obviously you got to supplement with groceries and stuff. But that's not the point. If you can get all your fresh veggies or your fresh lettuce at least, or strawberries or herbs or whatever from the system, then I'm all about it. It's a cool thing. What we can see is an overview of it. There will be two videos in this on this topic for the research and development part of it. The first video will be the frame and the towers and the tub and the plumbing. The second video will be the electronic solution, or in order to make the pump be a repeat timer pump. Okay, the towers require 3 or so minutes of watering every 15 or so minutes. Okay, so I need that pump to be on, then off, then on, then off, and it's nigh impossible to find a good solution online online of this this interrupt timer for the pump. There's been a couple of hacks and a couple of things that I just wasn't keen on, and I decided to build my own fancy one, and maybe make it available to people who are also building their own projects. So the first thing we're going to look at is the tower itself. In my case, I'm going to let the lights from the windows illuminate my plants. So I have these nice tall windows in the living room. I can probably get away with around a 58-ish, 56-inch-ish pipe that has about 7 plants in it. Okay, so your last plant is just at the base of the window, and your top plant is at the top of the window. So you got full light on it. So we get 7 plants out of 56-inch section of pipe. You can go buy a 14-foot 6-inch sewer pipe and cut it into 3 equal pieces and get your 3 towers out of 1 pipe. And that's what I'll be doing here. You cut halfway through the pipe, 3 inches, and you take the material above the cut and you push it in with a heat gun. Okay, so you heat it up real hot with a industrial heating gun. Your hair dryer might do the trick. It's just sewer pipe. It's pretty thin stuff. And you push that in, you clamp those bits together, and that creates a little pocket that your plant sits in. And it also, because the material is pushed up against the other wall, it holds the medium, in this case the rock, in the pocket above. But because it's not sealed up against the other wall, the fertilizer-rich water can pour down through the system. Okay, so there's that piece. Then we have our actual tower, or towers as the case may be. I don't want to rely on the structure of my home to hold up the weight of the plants in the towers with all the rock and all the stuff, so I'm probably going to build my own little overhead hanging frame to do that. In this case, 4x4s using the shelf brackets that you see here as gussets aren't drawn to scale. They're actually 4 inches shy of the 10-inch bracket that I found that I'm going to use, and the 10-inch bracket is almost twice as big, and it's only like $1 more. So it just seems to me that putting a larger bracket on for next to nothing more is the right way to do it. So you have your 3 pieces of pipe that have been cut and folded, and you can kind of see here that it folds in the material and it creates a pocket underneath, and that's your pot. And so you have 7 hanging pots that are all tied together because it's all one solid piece of material, and that hangs from these 2 little holes off of whatever overhead support that you come up with. And then you have a tote underneath it to catch the material the water coming out of the towers when it comes down. And inside that tote is where you mix your fertilizer, your water. You have a big water bath, so you have constant supply of water. And instead of watering the plants, you water the tub, which is, I find that kind of funny, but whatever. In order to get the water up to each of these 3 towers, you have a single pump I'm going with a 70 watt, 660 gallon per hour pump to begin with. Hopefully that does the trick. If it doesn't, we'll consider an upgrade. It's got a 3/4 inch output, and so we start with a 3/4 inch tube, and I'm going to go down to 1/2 inch tubes, and I'm going to run 1/2 inch tubes up the middle of each of these towers, so you don't even see the tubes except for coming out of the bottom of the tower. And once it gets just to the top, bury the tube, and so the water coming out of the top of the tube just kind of spills back over itself and down through the tower, right? So to do that, we need a manifold, and here's the manifold I went with. 3/4 inch barb, a 3/4 inch adapter. These 3 squares here actually represent 3/4 inch PVC pipe, okay? And we have 2 3/4 inch to 1/2 inch T's and a 3/4 inch to 90 to 1/2 inch. The top side of this are threaded. So we're gluing the manifold together, but it's all screw assembly to attach the hardware to the manifold. A couple of small nipples, 1/2 inch nipples, a couple of 3 inch valves, and then a couple of 3 inch to 1/2 inch barbed fittings. Okay, so pretty simple. Glue all these pieces, Teflon tape all those pieces, hose clamp the tubes to the ends. Right? Pretty simple. Not too entirely complicated. Which brings us to our bill of materials. We need some tube, some 1/2 inch and some 3/4. We need 3 lengths of the 1/2 inch at 10 feet in order to make it up each of the 3 towers. We only need a little bit of the 3/4 tube, so we're going to have surplus of that if we build a second or third tower set. So that's pretty handy. We have the pipe fittings, the threaded tube for 1/2 and 3/4, the valves, the nipples, the T fittings, the 90 fitting, the threaded adapter, and the piece of PVC pipe. The shortest you can buy it in is 5 feet. It's only $1 and change, and it'll last you for a long time. You can build dozens of these things with that one length. Then starting our expensive parts, we need a 14-foot long 6-inch sewer pipe. I found that for right around $36 at Home Depot. We need a pump. I found a pump online for $40, free shipping. That's cool. A pump timer. Next video, we're going to talk about how I'm going to build that pump timer. It's totally going to be Arduino for blog cred, and it'll be awesome. And you'll have to check that out. And then we need some 4x4 pressure treat board in order to build the gantry. Some brackets, decorative shelf brackets to make it look nice. It's going in the living room, right? So we want it to look good. And then some sort of tote for underneath so that the water has somewhere to catch. Not represented in this pricing is the bolts and the screws and stuff to hold the, because I'm going to bolt the gantry together, and then I'm going to put the gussets in the form of shelf brackets on it, and that all needs to be screwed and bolted together. And then there's talks about making a wooden box that the tote sits into, so it's nice and pretty. And then we're thinking about getting some nice green spray paint that's plastic adhering, and spraying all the plastic parts with green so that it disappears when the plants are growing on it. Pretty cool stuff. So there is the triple tower hydroponic system. Quick introduction to that and the concepts behind it. If you have any questions, comment. If you got any concerns about the way I'm designing it, if you like, oh no, that's not going to work, let me know. Don't let me make these mistakes. Unless that'll amuse you, I guess, then be my guest. And subscribe to the channel, like the video, share it with your friends and your hydroponic buddies so they can make suggestions on it. And we'll see you next time.